Guyana set to launch digital driver's license renewal portal. President Dr. Irfan Ali announced on Saturday that the government of Guyana is working towards implementing a new digital system for driver's license renewals. During an event held in Leonora, West Coast Demerara, President Ali emphasized that the upcoming system would integrate into a broader range of digital initiatives, which include automated airport processes and various payment ventures. Our goal is to be among the first 10% of countries to offer digital license renewal portals, President Ali stated. These portals will function similarly to kiosks or ATM machines and will be available across the country. You will be able to simply scan your license, use your debit or credit card, and renew it right there at a mall or police station. The introduction of such a system is designed to enhance the efficiency of key services while eliminating potential human biases or oversights, according to the president. Dr. Ali also expressed the government's commitment to expanding digital services through various advanced tools and equipment. He highlighted that a digital school is currently under development, and efforts are ongoing to digitize airport processes. Furthermore, the president indicated that a digital wallet or payment platform will be launched soon, further streamlining services for citizens. Berbice fisherman loses seine and catch in piracy incident. Dionarine Permal, a fisherman from Nig village in Region 6, is seeking assistance from authorities following a recent piracy incident that resulted in significant losses. On Wednesday, Permal and his crew embarked on a fishing expedition from the Kilcoy port. At approximately 6:30 p.m., while working in the Atlantic Ocean, they were approached by a rogue vessel. Permal recounted the harrowing experience, stating, "A boat came from the Berbice River and passed by us. It waited until it got dark and then came back to cut my seine. They cut it in half and then left with a substantial portion of our catch." Upon returning to shore on Thursday, Permal and his crew could only salvage one tub of fish, weighing a disappointing 93 pounds. He estimated the value of the stolen seine at $700,000, along with an additional loss of approximately $30,000 in fish. Permal has been able to identify the boat involved in the theft, describing it as red at the bottom and green on top. He learned that the boat had originated from Mahaica and was reportedly headed towards Suriname. "I got in contact with the person who sold the boat, and he confirmed that he sold it to someone in Suriname," Permal explained. He expressed his hope for the recovery of his stolen seine, stating, "If I get back the other half of my seine, I can start working again because my crew is now out of a job." The seine is about 2 miles long. Following this troubling incident, Permal has reported the matter to the relevant authorities. Fisherman's house destroyed by suspected arson. A devastating fire claimed the home of Permal Punsami, a 54-year-old fisherman from Wim, Quarantine, Berbice, in the early hours of Friday morning. Punsami told the newsroom that he left his house around 7 a.m. to prepare a boat for a fishing trip scheduled for Monday. However, while at number 66 port, he received a phone call from his niece informing him that his house was engulfed in flames. Upon returning to the scene, Punsami discovered that the 4-bedroom wooden and concrete structure had already been reduced to ashes. The Rose Hall Town Fire Station was alerted promptly, and firefighters responded swiftly. However, the damage was extensive. Divisional Fire Officer Clive MacDonald confirmed that the fire was set with malicious intent, indicating suspicions of arson. In the blaze, Punsami lost all of his belongings, including important documents and $160,000 in cash. He has been living alone in the house since 2003, which is owned by a relative residing overseas. Currently, Punsami is staying with one of his daughters until he can secure stable housing. He is seeking support from the community and can be contacted at 755-8585 for assistance. Bandit shot several times by police after attacking with cutlass. A 30-year-old man accused of committing multiple robberies in recent days was shot several times by police after he attacked officers with a cutlass in his attempt to evade arrest at Spring Garden, Public Road, Essequibo Coast, Region 2. The suspect, identified as Vishal Anuaj, a resident of Onderneming, Region 2, has been linked to a series of robberies in the Supinam waterfront area. Crime Chief Wendell Blanham confirmed that Anuaj is wanted for these offenses. According to closed-circuit television (CCTV) footage, Anuj was seen breaking into a Superbet outlet at Supinam early Friday morning at approximately 2:41 a.m. The video shows him entering the establishment with a tool, which he used to open a door to the cashier's area. After scanning the location, he spotted an undisclosed amount of cash inside a black box at the cash registry, took the cash and fled. Acting on received information, police deployed ranks to Spring Garden, Public Road, where they encountered Anuj at around 8:10 a.m. He was spotted carrying a strap bag and wielding a cutlass as he walked south on the eastern side of the public road. Police reported that as the patrol vehicles approached, Anuj ran into a yard and then continued east along a sea dam. Officers disembarked and pursued him, instructing him to stop and surrender. Upon halting, Anuj attacked the officers, swinging the cutlass in their direction. In response, police fired several rounds at him, striking him in the thigh, hand, and abdomen. Despite being hit, he continued to advance toward the ranks with the cutlass but eventually collapsed to the ground. He was transported to Sudhi Public Hospital for treatment while under police guard. The cutlass and strap bag were recovered, revealing $243,750 in cash, a G-Shock wristwatch, and 3 Digicel and GDT phone cards worth $300,000. History of alleged crimes. The suspect is linked to a series of recent crimes, including January 19, 2025. A break-in at Lot 12 Adventure, Essequibo Coast, resulted in the theft of $200,000 from Irving Rambarak. January 28 to 29, 2025. A burglary at Lot 29 Adventure Backstreet led to the loss of a laptop valued at $300,000 and an electronic tablet worth $100,000 belonging to Minesh Chaubey. February 5, 2025. Krishna Nareen reported the theft of a gold ring worth $80,000 and $20,000 in cash from Lot 11 Adventure Sand Top. February 8, 2025. A burglary at Adventure Backstreet led to $100,000 being stolen from Farina Calendar. February 24, 2025. Mr. Indar suffered a theft of $150,000 in cash, a Bluetooth speaker valued at $25,000, and a cell phone worth $5,000 in Middlesex, Essequibo Coast. March 18 to 19, 2025. Leroy Jordy reported a loss of $500,000 in cash during a break-in at Lot 19 Adventure. The most recent string of incidents occurred on March 28, 2025, involving several break-ins at Supinam, Essequibo Coast. Devin Warner's shop at Supinam Waterfront was robbed of $1,134,780, while Judy Wilson reported 2 stolen wristwatches valued at $120,000 from Supinam Market. Additionally, Farida Khan and Sharon Bashus had items stolen from their stalls, including cigarettes and snacks worth $24,000. Investigations are ongoing. Firefighter's death not attributed to negligence, report finds. The Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, has released a comprehensive statement addressing the findings of an independent investigative panel concerning the tragic death of firefighter Vashan Manbod, who passed away at their facility following an injury sustained while on duty. The GPHC clarified that Mr. Manbod's death was not solely due to his acute injury but rather a combination of complications arising from his trauma and an underlying chronic disease. The investigative panel determined that he died from known secondary complications related to traumatic injuries, specifically multiple bleeding ulcers. The findings highlight the complexities involved in managing patients with multifaceted medical conditions and emphasize the necessity for a comprehensive, integrated approach to patient care. The investigation identified critical areas in need of improvement, including clinical coordination, timely escalation of care, and adherence to established trauma management protocols. Additionally, the panel confirmed that there is no evidence Mr. Manbod fell from his bed, countering claims made by some. This conclusion was corroborated by the nursing staff and other patients present in the ward at the time. While the panel's review revealed systemic gaps that may have contributed to this unfortunate outcome, it concluded that there was no intentional negligence or wrongdoing by any individual or department involved in Mr. Manbod's care. Instead, the report calls for urgent structural and procedural enhancements to ensure the highest standards of patient care. To bolster patient safety and prevent similar incidents in the future, GBHC is introducing several measures. Enhanced multidisciplinary communication, mandatory interdisciplinary case discussions for complex trauma cases to promote continuous collaboration among medical teams. Reinforced escalation protocols, improved monitoring and response mechanisms for changes in patient conditions to ensure timely interventions. Clinical governance strengthening, a review and update of documentation policies to enhance communication regarding critical lab values and referral feedback. Training and capacity building, ongoing medical education sessions focused on trauma care best practices, interdisciplinary coordination, and early detection of complications. Policy updates, refinement of discharge protocols to involve all relevant medical teams in a patient's care until stability is confirmed. GPHC is dedicated to providing high-quality healthcare and is committed to learning from each case to enhance patient outcomes. The organization appreciates the work of the investigative panel and the dedication of their medical teams in this process. In closing, GPHC extends its deepest condolences to Mr. Manbada's family, friends, and colleagues. The hospital acknowledges the profound impact of this loss and reaffirms its commitment to continuous improvement in patient care and safety. 300 Kwakwani residents receive house lots in first phase of new development. A new housing scheme is being developed in Kwakwani, Region 10, as part of ongoing efforts to provide residents with safer and improved living conditions. On Friday, the first 300 house lots were allocated during the community's Dream Realized housing initiative. Residents living in the waterfront area of Kwakwani often face significant flooding during rainy seasons, which has prompted the government to commit to launching this new housing development. Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Kroll, emphasized the need for this initiative, stating, "Those on the waterfront, as you know, are flooded out during prolonged rainfall." To facilitate the new scheme, a $1.6 billion contract has already been signed to commence infrastructural works immediately. This initiative is expected to create job opportunities for local residents, including positions for laborers, machine operators, drivers, and suppliers of aggregates. The first phase of infrastructure work will be completed this year, and you will be able to access your land before the year ends, Kroll announced. In addition to the house lot allocations, several residents received land titles during the event. Minister Kroll remarked, "This land titling exercise we are embarking on today is in keeping with our work program." Regarding concerns about water services in the area, the minister acknowledged residents' complaints about the current service levels. He revealed that a request for an additional water well has been made, and investigations have indicated that existing issues are due to breaks in the water system. To resolve these problems, a $10 million contract has been established to ensure that residents will receive improved quality service moving forward. Guyana undergoing transformation under President Ali's leadership, says Rubio. Newsroom, United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio praised Guyana's transformation, crediting President Dr. Irfan Ali's leadership for the progress being made. In a Facebook post from the U.S. Department of State, Rubio stated, "Guyana's economic transformation under President Ali's leadership has been truly remarkable." This statement came during Rubio's recent visit to Jamaica, Guyana, and Suriname, where he engaged with regional leaders to strengthen U.S. partnerships throughout the Caribbean and the Western Hemisphere. During his time in Guyana, Secretary Rubio signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) to enhance U.S.-Guyana security cooperation and address regional challenges. He emphasized the incredible opportunities for rapid development in Guyana, improved living standards, and the country's potential to contribute to regional growth, all of which are expected to unfold under President Ali's direction. At a joint press conference on Thursday, Rubio remarked, "The lives of your children, your grandchildren, and your own lives are going to look very different in 5 to 10 years under this leadership." He contrasted Guyana with other nations, noting, "We visit many countries, and some are facing tremendous challenges and merely trying to stabilize. Others are working to improve. This country has a unique opportunity to transform." Rubio commended President Ali for steering Guyana toward an era of transformation, asserting that the nation is on track to become a beacon of progress in the region. He reaffirmed the United States' unwavering commitment to supporting Guyana, particularly in safeguarding the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity amid growing external threats. Attorney General clashes with GICAM counsel in verification case. Acting Chief Justice delays decision to April 3. By news source Guyana in a high-stakes court session, Attorney General Anil Nandlall, senior counsel, engaged in a heated exchange with Kurt De Silva, counsel for the Guyana Elections Commission (GICAM), regarding the critical issue of residency requirements for regional elections. This confrontation came as Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George postponed her ruling in the house-to-house verification case to allow for additional submissions. Mr. De Silva heavily referenced Article 73(1) of the Constitution, asserting that residency remains a constitutional requirement for Guyanese voters in regional elections. He emphasized that addresses provided by individuals seeking registration must undergo verification. Article 73(1) states, "Members of a regional democratic council shall be elected by persons residing in the region and registered as electors for the purpose of Article 159. GICAM's counsel contended that historically, general and regional elections in Guyana have been held simultaneously using a single list of electors. He noted that prior to 2022, the addresses registered by individuals were verified in accordance with the National Registration Act. However, De Silva pointed out that with the passage of the National Registration Amendment Act of 2022, the verification of residency is no longer required for general elections. Still, he argued that this requirement remains constitutionally binding for regional elections. Yes, general and regional elections have been held together for decades, but persons were registered based on their residence. All of that changed in 2022, De Silva told the court. He highlighted that the amendments have led to specific challenges that need addressing. He argued, verification of residence must be done before anyone is allowed to register for the regional elections. Anyone voting for a regional democratic council must, in addition to being registered, be residing in the region. De Silva criticized the government for neglecting to consider important provisions relating to regional and local elections when amending the National Registration Act. These arguments, however, did not sit well with the Attorney General. Nandlall countered that De Silva's position contradicts that of GICAM itself. He stressed that Article 159, which outlines voting conditions in Guyana, supersedes Article 73 and should be upheld. Nandlall pointed out that Article 159 clearly states that residency is not a requirement for voting in the country. He contended that verification of residence is unnecessary for both general and regional elections, claiming that the amendments made to the National Registration Act in 2022 brought it in line with the Constitution, particularly Article 159. Once you provide an address, it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's the High Court building or another location, that is your address. All you need is an address to determine where you will vote, the Attorney General explained to reporters after the court session. Nandlall also described De Silva's arguments as deeply flawed, asserting that they lacked clarity and were inconsistent with the law. Unfortunately, you heard GICAM's lawyer making some very uninformed and uninitiated submissions. Submissions that lacked clarity and are not consistent with the law, Nandlall stated. He further characterized the application brought by the People's National Congress Reform's chief scrutineer, Carol Smith-Joseph, as a red herring aimed at delaying the forthcoming general and regional elections. The acting Chief Justice is scheduled to deliver her ruling on this matter on April 3, 2025.